two big lies. I'm the only one who's struggling with whatever this challenge is in my life, and I've got to figure it out all on my own. They try to fix everything on the outside, but do very little work trying to figure out the things on the inside that keeps us stuck. And the enemy and our society isolates and shames men. Christ invites us to freedom as beloved sons, which is very different than the way that our culture is today.
Welcome to the Crucible Project Podcast. The Crucible Project is a nonprofit organization committed to creating a world of men and women who live with integrity, grace, and courage, helping them to fulfill their God-given purpose. This podcast will discuss important and sometimes difficult topics while delivering practical life applications with men and women who are currently practicing this work. We are igniting Christ-like change in men and women through experiences of radical honesty and grace.
Hey, welcome back to the Crucible Project Podcast. So glad you can join us today, and always appreciative of all our listeners and glad that you join us in this series, the Real Christian Manhood series that Roy Wooten and I do together. I'm Byron Myers. I serve as the Men's Ministry Director of the Crucible Project, and I'm hosting in today's episode. We're doing a little bit of a flip. Roy and I are usually just two men talking, but today I get to interview my good friend, Roy Wooten, the Executive Director of the Crucible Project. So welcome, Roy.
Yeah, great to be here. I'm excited to have a conversation with you about this.
Yeah, it's kind of fun to be the guy who's doing the interviewing, too. We'll see how well that goes. So, Roy, you had released your book last fall titled Unstuck, 7 Steps to Break Free and Live Courageously. So we're going to talk about that new release of the video series designed for men's small groups based upon that book. So anybody who's listening, you're a man or someone who cares about one, today's episode could change people's lives. So yeah, we welcome Roy. We're glad we're stepping into this. So Roy, you've served men for decades through retreats, coaching, and your writing. Why'd you feel now was the time to create Unstuck and the video series?
Last year we served about 1,000 men in our transformational retreats. It's just an incredible experience to go through our retreat. And man after man comes to the retreat feeling stuck in some place in their life. They're stuck in their career or their marriage, their faith, their identity. I'm reminded of a pastor who came and he was stuck wondering if his calling was still on his life and challenged by the lack of creativity he had, the lack of growth in numbers at the church, and just feeling really stuck. So I see it everywhere. And, in the pandemic, we isolated even more than usual. There's been some real culture shifts. Masculinity and manhood overall have been under attack. Christianity has been too. And I think it's driven men further into isolation. A fairly recent study says 3 in 5 men can only name 5 friends. 1 in 5 can't name a single friend. So I was feeling those issues. And then I really wanted to get something out. The book itself isn't just for men, but I really wanted to get something out just for men around being stuck. And I felt the best way to do that would be through a video small group series that helps men break the isolation that they've been in.
Yeah. In that first session, you're talking about this stuckness and this aloneness. So what's going on beneath the surface?
Yeah, so I think most men are stuck. Two big lies. One is I'm the only one who's struggling with whatever this challenge is in my life, marriage, work, whatever, and I've got to figure it out all on my own. And that really moves us to being in a place of staying stuck. We don't ask for help. There's a psychologist who's coined the term normal male alexithymia. It's like we've normalized that this, what used to be a psychiatric diagnosis of alexithymia, not knowing myself well enough and my emotions well enough to actually put words to them so that I can actually connect with other people, that is leading to this isolation. They try to fix everything on the outside, the job, the marriage, and the habits, but do very little work trying to figure out the things on the inside, that inner stuff that keeps us stuck, the thoughts that we carry that keep us stuck. And the enemy and our society isolates and shames men. Christ invites us to freedom as beloved sons, which is very different than the way that our culture is today.
Yeah. A friend of ours and a leader in this work with us, Barry Thomas, would often say a best gift we can give the people around us is a better us. And
Mhm.
and so many of us try to grind through in the behavior realm without looking at the internal. So yeah, that's super, super important. So Roy, there are a lot of small group studies for men. What's unique about Unstuck?
Well, there's a handful of things that are really, I think, that I attempted to make it different. Number one is it's very practical. So it's not, 30,000 foot. It's not talking about concepts. It's real practical in your life. It's trauma informed, grace based, and rooted in biblical transformation. So each step is a personal story, a biblical truth, an action, not just a theory. And it emphasizes truth telling, a confession, brotherhood, and change at the soul level. So it's got real stories in it. I actually tell some of my personal story that isn't in the book in each of the video sessions. There's a little bit more of my story in every session. So I'm trying to model the authenticity and truth telling that I believe will help men break out of the isolation they're in.
Yeah. And I love that. You and I, we both buy in. This is why we wear the brand on the Crucible Project. But
Yeah.
it is such a ministry that applies scriptural and biblical concepts and teaching and taking this one step deeper into that authenticity. That's just so needed. Grateful for that. So say a church, a pastor, or a small group of men want to use this. What's the setup?
Well, the Crucible Project has made this available absolutely free. So there's 8 video sessions, each about 7 to 10 minutes long. And right now they're available at YouTube. You can get that at thecrucibleproject.org/unstuck, where you can also get a free downloadable leader's guide, a small group curriculum leader's guide, and the full copy in an ebook version of Unstuck, the book. So all of that's for free. All the men in the group can get it for free, and unlimited play. It doesn't cost a single thing for anyone who wants to do this. It's perfect for weekly men's groups or church discipleship series to slide it into whatever small group systems that you have for discipleship. And it's designed so even a first-time leader can facilitate with confidence. You get together, maybe have some prayer requests and prayer time, make sure everybody's welcome, and then play the video. And then there's a set of questions that you can have them, depending on the size of the room. If it's like 10, 12 guys, you can just go in around and everyone gets a chance to answer those questions out loud. But if it's a large room, maybe they break into groups of 2 or 3 men and answer those questions. And then a next step kind of question, any commitments that anybody wants to make there at the end, and then I pray them out and let them know when the next session is. And so it's a nice little curriculum that also has some resources in the leader's guide that aren't anywhere else. And so especially for the guy who's doing it for the first time, it's got some pointers on what really makes a good small group for men work. I'm really pleased with how all of that's turned out, and I'm hopeful that men will create relationships they don't have or take relationships they have even deeper by going through this curriculum and getting unstuck somewhere in their life. I think if men can go through the process and actually do the work that's in the small group series, they will begin to learn some tools that will not only get unstuck in whatever they came for, but also be able to get unstuck in other areas of their life later on.
Yeah. I attend a small group at my church of older men. They're my eldership in a sense.
Yeah.
And they do a lot of video series studies with the companion and asking questions and working through. Yeah, I can see this easily being something that a church group can plug in and use. So yeah, it's great that you've set it up in this way, Roy. So easy to use.
Yeah, thanks.
So we have women who listen to this podcast, wives, moms, daughters. What would you want to say to them?
Well, so number one, you likely know someone who is silently struggling, a man who is stuck someplace in his life. You can't fix him, but you can point him toward a space where he doesn't have to fake it anymore. And that's what this curriculum will do. Share the series with him, tell him there's hope, and it's free. And another thing, I hope that you can hear this. I think about moms and sisters and wives and others that are dying for emotional connection in their relationship with men or a man in their life. This series will help him, give him tools to help him become more emotionally available, which means you and him will feel more connected. I also believe it will push men to be more faithful and strong in their relationship with Christ. As men work on these things together and start living authentically with each other, their relationship with God will improve.
Yeah. And I heard once that the rib was so significant out of Adam for Eve that there was this part of the ribs protect the heart, and that the woman, part of her role is helping protect her husband's heart, the man's heart, man in their life. And without dinging a man's masculinity, there are oftentimes you and I are prompted to step into something we really need to look at by our wives, by the women in our lives, because they give us some reflection of how we're showing up to them. And so, what a great encouragement for women to know, hey, there's something out there for your husband. There's something out there for your son. There's something out there for men in your life that you have such a heart for, and you're trying to protect them. Yeah, I just love that we have that. So, Roy, for the man listening right now, or someone who loves him, what's the next step?
Yeah, so it's real simple. Go to the crucibleproject.org/unstuck. You go to that website, you can find everything that you want there, the leader's guide. Click through to the YouTube channel that has all of the resources and the free Unstuck ebook. So you don't have to buy it. You can buy it on Amazon or wherever you buy books, but you can get it for free there. Here's the challenge I have. If you don't have a group of men, I think this can be helpful, but once you watch the first one, you'll want to find another man or two to say, hey, let's do this together. And we have resources at the Crucible Project that can help put you into a small group. If you go to our website and click the contact form and ask us, we will help find someone hopefully near you that you can do in person, but if not, online, to help you have a place to connect with other men and begin this important work. Main thing is, if you're a guy, watch the first video, bring a friend, and then y'all start telling the truth with each other. That is power that's going to change and make it where you get unstuck.
Absolutely. Do not do this alone. It is so easy to say, oh, great, I've got a resource, and just sit and try to watch the videos and read through the material, and it'll be helpful. But this idea of doing it alone just doesn't work. Find a group of men. So brothers, if you're tired of pretending, tired of hiding, tired of just feeling stuck or alone, you don't have to stay there.
Right.
Visit thecrucibleproject.org/unstuck. Download the free resources. Start your journey towards living courageously. If you need help getting into a group, reach out through the website inquiry page. And some might be planning a church retreat and want to get me or Roy there to help share this unstuck material in a live event. You can find a button to do that there on the website as well. So you'll also find links to connect to a Crucible coach. You can begin getting unstuck with a free 30-minute session with one of our coaches, or you may be ready to invest yourself by experiencing one of the retreats that we have prepared for you. Roy and I believe in it. We've been a part of it 16 years because of it. We'll probably be part of this type of work the rest of our lives, right, Roy?
Yeah, for sure.
And Roy, you have any last-minute challenge for men who may be listening today?
Yeah, I think getting into action can get scary. Like beginning this process, actually, like going and clicking there and actually beginning the process, or letting my small group that I'm in know that this curriculum's available or whatever. Getting into action can be scary. And I think fear is a gift from God, and it's not sinful in and of itself. That fear kind of lets us know that something bad might happen, right? That's why we get a little scared when we're jumping out of a plane with a backpack or crossing the street and want to make sure that we look all the ways. So fear isn't bad in and of itself, but if it's keeping you from getting into action to be the man that you really want to be, the husband, the father, the leader that you really want to be, then it's going to take you facing that fear and going anyway, right? That's what courage is. Courage is knowing that, I don't know if I have time. I don't know, I don't really know if I want to like push into it. What if I say something to my pastor about this and he's like, well, you lead it. And now I'm stuck with that. Whatever fear it is, face it and take action, because here's what's incredible. When you get into action, your fear subsides. Like God blesses us when we get into action, and the thing that we fear the most usually dissipates. So take action, get into action, face your fear, and go anyway.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. Step into it. If you're hearing that little voice, you're feeling that pit in your stomach, that's the thing you've got to step into and move forward. Roy, it's always a joy doing this with you. We have so much fun together in these podcasts. If you haven't subscribed to the podcast yet, Crucible Project or this Real Christian Manhood series, we're on all the major outlets, Apple, Spotify, all the different ones, and you won't miss an episode. So we invite you to subscribe, get involved, take this out there into your world, and be the man that you have been called to be, the man of God, and advancing the kingdom of God through authenticity, honesty, grace, and strength. Thanks for listening today.
For more information about our weekends, please go to thecrucibleproject.org. Or if you're ready to get started on your transformational journey right now, you can connect with one of our Crucible certified coaches for a free 30-minute session at thecrucibleproject.org/coaching. That's thecrucibleproject.org/coaching. If you like what you heard, connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Rate and review wherever you are listening, and don't forget to subscribe on your preferred podcast platform. Thank you for listening.